Now, there's been a lot of talk about work-life balance in the last few years, but once you see Severance from Apple TV Plus, you'll probably think about the matter quite differently. Now, Apple TV Plus have been making a lot of new shows in recent times, and I think they've struck gold with this new thriller from Ben Stiller. That rhymes. Yes, Ben Stiller is director and executive producer of this dark and mysterious series, and Zoolander, it's not.
Hello, my name is Mark S. And I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure known as severance.
We're introduced to the series through the eyes of Mark, a grieving widower who works for the mysterious Lumen Industries. Mark has undergone a controversial operation known as severance. This means that his consciousness has effectively been broken into two parts. One that is always thinking about work and one that is always thinking about home life, and they do not connect. He doesn't know what happens at work when he's at home, and he doesn't know what happens at home when he's at work, which means effectively he's always at home and he's always at work. Yeah, it's quite complicated and it does your head in a bit. Now, the transformation between work Mark and home Mark happens in a lift as he goes down into the super basement of Lumen Industries to do his data collection work every day. Now, what exactly he's doing and what his colleagues at Lumen Industries are doing is quite unclear at the beginning, but what is quite clear is that this is a sinister environment. This is a corporate environment that doesn't feel particularly happy. Early doors, we see Mark interact with a new recruit to Lumen Industries, Helly, and we see that actually it's not as easy to leave as perhaps you first think when you arrive. We're also quickly introduced to a corporate management structure that is clearly there to only serve the mysterious owners and shareholders of Lumen Industries, and therefore anyone's friendships and anyone's relationships are put on hold to make sure that things get done, whatever those things are. And it's confirmed to us that there's something wrong at Lumen Industries when we realise that there's a breakaway character. Someone who used to be friends with Mark in the building has somehow escaped the severance system and is on the outside. And instantly we're set up for what is going to be a thrilling ride as we try to understand what's going on in that basement and why it's going on in that basement and why they don't want anyone to leave.
Do I know you?
My name's Petey. I'm from work.
So, we're friends?
I'm your best friend. Nothing is what they say. I used to think it would take a monster to put someone in a place like that office. Especially if the person was himself. If you want to know what's going on down there, you'll find the beginning of a very long answer.
Adam Scott, who you might know from things like Parks and Recreation, stars in this show and he puts in a fantastic performance. He has to play two characters effectively, the grieving husband on the outside and then this kind of dead-eyed corporate person on the inside who's getting things done for the mysterious industry. Obviously, as the show moves on, those things start to blend, but in the beginning you have to see a lot of versatility in his acting and that really comes through. And there's an exceptional cast working around him from the likes of Patricia Arquette, Christopher Walken, John Turturro, and Britt Lower. This is a show that has heavyweight actors performing a fantastically well put together script. We talked a little bit earlier about Ben Stiller, but his directorial work and the overall feel of the show is absolutely stunning. This is a show that is beautiful to look at. It's crafted with excellence. Every part of the inside of the Lumen headquarters looks like it has had hours, weeks, months of care put into it to make it come alive. It's a place that feels a bit like Mad Men, a bit like Devs. There's old, there's new, there's a feeling of claustrophobia at every point. And this is added to by the way that the show is paced. It leaves a lot of the pauses in. There is enough silence. There are enough slow walking down corridors that seem to go on forever that you keep thinking about what's going on here. Too much of that and it would be boring, but there's just the right amount. Now, as the show goes on, there are more mysteries that begin to unfold. The screw begins to turn and we start to understand a little more about what's going on and what's not going on in this place. This is a masterful piece of television. It keeps you gripped. You're going to want to watch this to the very end. Severance is one of those shows that feels like it quite deliberately has you on the back foot. You feel like you're slightly off kilter all the time. You can't quite get your bearings and you don't quite know why. And just like all great dystopian shows, and we must remember things like Black Mirror at this time, this is a show that makes you think, not just about yourself, but about the world that we live in now, as well as the world that perhaps could come in the future. And whether or not you're watching this in your work life or your home life, one thing you should be doing is watching Severance. From the script, to the casting, to the performances of the actors, the set design and the direction, on every level, this is a 5-star show. And if that's not sold it to you, I don't know what will. Anyway, that's your cue to go and watch Severance. It's on Apple TV Plus now.
What's happening?
What is it we actually do here?
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not hit the like button and think about subscribing to the Screen OD channel. Once you've watched Severance, why not leave in the comments below what you thought of the show. And don't forget to check out all the Screen OD videos on the channel. We'll see you again very soon.